others some hardships for that love. Some caused by outside actors, or maybe some were because of his inaction due to his loyalty, or maybe it was just all fate. You can read about it in the description below. The Little Tin Soldier. Once upon a time, there were 25 tin soldiers who seemed identical brothers because all had been made from the same old tin spoon. They all carried muskets in their arms, were dressed in handsome red and blue uniforms, and held themselves stiffly at attention. But one soldier differed from the rest. He had only one leg, for he had been the last one made when there was not quite enough tin left to finish. Except for his missing leg, however, he looked exactly like his brothers, wore the same uniform, carried the same musket, and held himself just as stiffly at attention. The 25 tin soldiers were displayed in their wooden box in the toy store until one day a father came in and bought them for his son. "Tin soldiers," cried the little boy when he saw them. "Oh, how handsome they are!" Without wasting another minute, he lined up his soldiers in formation on the table. "Who wants your old tin soldiers? My present's much better," bragged his sister proudly, looking at her castle and its handsome figures of lords and ladies. There was even a little ballerina with tinsel glittering on her shoulder. "My soldiers are better, 'cause they're made of metal. Your people are only cardboard, and look, your ballerina has only one leg," her brother snapped. "That's because she's dancing silly," his sister teased, her other legs tucked under her ballet skirt. "Anyway, one of your soldiers doesn't have a second leg at all." They played and quarreled through the afternoon, and then, like most children, left their toys untidily in the playroom and ran off to find some other mischief. The toys stayed right where the children left them. The ballerina remained balanced on one toe, never moving, and only her tinsel glittered and sparkled. The tin soldier stood, as always, stiffly at attention, and never moved a muscle or blinked an eyelid, but his thoughts moved busily around in his head. That would be a fine partner for me, he thought, staring at the ballerina. That night, when everyone was asleep, the time came, as it always does, when the toys had a chance to play with each other. They played their own games and amused themselves in their own ways. The soldiers fought battles, the lords and ladies held grand balls, the carousel whirled, and the musical canary awoke and began to sing. The clowns and dolls danced, while the bear clashed his cymbals. Only two toys were quiet, the little one-legged tin soldier and the pirouetting ballerina. Her tinsel glittered brightly, but she never changed her graceful position and stared only at him. The tin soldier stood stiffly at attention and never took his eyes off of her. When the clock struck midnight, there was a great crash, and out of the tobacco jar, which was really a jack-in-the-box, popped an angry court jester. "Take your eyes off that dancer," he screamed at the tin soldier. "She's mine, do you hear?" The little tin soldier knew that a brave soldier never speaks when standing at attention, so he could not reply. "So you won't answer?" threatened the jester magician. "Well, you'll soon be sorry." nursemaid followed to help. They searched and searched but could not find the missing tin soldier, even though he was so close all the time that they nearly stepped on him. The little tin soldier wanted to cry out to them, but he remembered once more that a brave soldier never cries out when standing at attention, even when standing at attention upside down. When the first drops of rain began to fall, the nursemaid sent the little boy into the house. So the little boy went inside feeling very sad about his little lost soldier. The rain became heavier and heavier, and soon it came down in torrents. The gutter near the tin soldier became a swollen, rushing stream. When the storm was over, two boys came by and saw the tin soldier still standing at attention upside down. "Look what I found," cried one boy, picking up the tin soldier. "He must be tired of always marching around on land," said the other. "Let's make him sail for once in his life." Quickly, they made a boat of an old newspaper and placed the tin soldier in its prow. He sailed away down the gutter as the boys cheered him on. The paper boat rocked to and fro, and the little tin soldier felt dizzy, but somehow he still managed to stand as stiffly at attention as always. "If only I had the ballerina for a sailing companion, I might enjoy myself more," he said to himself. He really did not enjoy his first boat ride much at all, and began to enjoy it even less when the stream suddenly plunged into a dark underground tunnel. After a time in the darkness, the little tin soldier saw daylight ahead, where the stream emptied into a great canal with a swift current, even more dangerous for the tossing paper boat. It spun round and round as if in a whirlpool, and began to fill with water. The poor tin soldier was terrified, but he managed to keep thinking of his ballerina and to stand stiffly at attention as the water rose up to his chin. Finally, the paper boat split wide open, and the little tin soldier was dropped sinking into the canal. No sooner had he fallen out than a great fish caught him and swallowed him whole. It was even darker inside the fish than in the tunnel, and the little tin soldier could not stand up. Still, like any brave soldier, he shouldered his arms and lay at attention, even though flat on his back. Suddenly, the fish squirmed and wriggled, then it jumped and jerked violently. Then it lay quite still. After a long time, the little tin soldier saw daylight again, and finally heard someone shout, "Look, it's the missing tin soldier." As if by magic, the little lost soldier had ended up inside a fish being prepared for dinner in the very house he had left some time before. The little boy rushed back to the playroom happily with his missing toy, and the tin soldier was overjoyed to see his friends again and to be able to stare at the lovely ballerina, who stared back at him, all her tinsel glittering with joy. Suddenly, perhaps it was the work of the jealous jester once again, or perhaps the boy was careless, but somehow the little tin soldier was knocked into the fireplace. And somehow, right afterward, a draft caught up the desperate little ballerina, and she too was swept into the burning coals. Flames shot up around them both. The next morning, the housemaid cleaned the grate and found among the ashes some charred threads of tinsel stuck tightly to a lump of melted tin. She was a little surprised also to see that the tin had melted into the shape of a perfect heart. unfortunate toys were forever united, at least